Many of us have firearms for home defense. If we hear that bump in the night, the ability to rapidly employ that firearm is key. So then that is a fine not less than $50,000, not more than $100,000. Will not apply if you have your firearm unloaded, separate from your ammunition. Your firearm is locked with a trigger lock in a safe, separate from the ammunition. Hi, I'm Ernie Medina with TRB, and today I'm here to talk to you in a little bit more detail about HR 130. Again, I posted a video not too long ago about the headline regarding HR 130 because we knew it was coming down the pipe, but we didn't know the verbiage. Now that we have the verbiage, I wanted to take a moment and go through that with you in a little bit more detail. And again, I have my phone here so that way I can reference certain things and not miss anything with regards to the bill. But we're just going to go through it. So first of all, the bill is called HR 130 and has been cited as the Kimberly-Vaughn Firearms Safe Storage Act. And this one is all about storage of firearms and ammunition. Okay, and it talks about the proper and or improper storage of firearms and ammunition. So I'm going to read this one paragraph because it kind of sets the tone of the rest of the bill, but it says here in Section 922 of Title 18 U.S. Code, and then here's this paragraph AA, which gets referenced throughout the bill, and it says, "It shall be unlawful for a person to store or keep any firearm or ammunition that has moved in or that has otherwise affected interstate or foreign commerce on the premises of a residence under the control of the person if the person knows or reasonably knows or should know that," and then the following. So basically, if the following criteria occurs and either somebody lives with or moves in with or is on the premises with, that kind of stuff, then these certain things will be affected. So the first one talks about someone who lives in that residence or place that is under the age of 18 and is likely to gain access to the firearm without permission of the parent or guardian or of the individual. Okay, so basically anyone who's under the age of 18 and can gain access. And it says here, an individual who resides at the residence is ineligible to possess a firearm under federal, state, or local law if they, for instance, the person under 18 can gain access. Now, the next thing that it talks about is subparagraph A, which is essentially the 922, the basically where you live. It talks about not apply to a person with respect to a firearm or ammunition for the firearm if the person keeps the firearms and ammunition in a secured, unloaded, and separately in a safe certified by the Attorney General and locked with a trigger lock certified by the Attorney General. Okay. So basically what it's saying is that the penalties that it referenced before, those things, will not apply if you have your firearm unloaded, separate from your ammunition, your firearm is locked with a trigger lock in a safe, separate from the ammunition. Or if it is off your premises at a storage facility or gun range certified by the Attorney General. So key in on the phrase certified by the Attorney General because just putting it in, say, your storage unit, not that anybody would, but putting it in your storage unit at your local storage facility may not be appropriate according to the Attorney General. Okay? Now, it also says anyone who in a civil action is found to have violated Section 922, which is that original, hey, if you have firearms on your premises, the result is a negligent discharge or discharge of the firearm. The first offense is a fine up to $5,000. Okay, if it's found that the person has violated that first paragraph and resulted in a discharge of the firearm, and they knowingly, so then that is a fine not less than $50,000, not more than $100,000. And in prison, not more than 20 years or both. Okay, so we got now prison time. Now, if a person is convicted, of course, then they have to turn over their firearms and ammunition to the Attorney General's office. Okay, let's see here. Let's talk about the certification of safes and safe storage facilities. So within 1 year of this bill being approved or put into law, now the enactment of this bill would happen. So basically, if it gets passed, say today, we've got 1 year to essentially comply. And basically prove that we have a safe or storage capability that is certified by the Attorney General. And if there are reports of improper storage, it says here that the reports will go through the Attorney General through the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives shall investigate all reports that a person is improperly storing a firearm or ammunition. That being said, so basically, if let's just say, for instance, you're in your home and for whatever reason your neighbor decides that you're storing your stuff improperly, let's say he comes over to your house or whatever and you see something, they can report you to the authorities and then that will be investigated and so on and so forth. So if you do not have your firearms and or ammunition locked up and all that good stuff, you can get in a world of hurt if somebody reports you on that one. And again, this gets inspected by the ATF and all that stuff. So really, really weird here. So as far as beyond the verbiage, my thoughts on this is if you take a look at home defense, many of us have firearms for home defense. If we hear that bump in the night, the ability to rapidly employ that firearm is key, so that way we can defend ourselves. With the measures that are potentially wanting to be put in place, you essentially neuter the firearm to the point where there is no way you could rapidly employ it without having to go through several hoops to unlock it and get to it and so on and so forth. So basically, having a firearm in your home at that point for personal defense is useless. I also take issue with the fact that we as citizens are told or directed to have things that we legally possess locked up or stored in a certain way in our private property. So that is something that I take issue with and is an overstep in my opinion, because what happens on my property, what is stored on my property that I legally own, should be my business. So that's something that I take issue with, and I'm sure many of you take issue with as well. So understand that while on the surface to the average bear, it seems like, well, that might be a good idea. It should be stored properly. People under the age of 18 or prohibited persons should not have access to the firearm. Absolutely, I agree with that. But going to as far as to the extent of telling us exactly what to do, and we must have this approved safe or gadget or whatever, only means that now, one, you render the firearm useless, and two, I'm sure those approved devices for storage are many things that most of us don't have, which means it's an expense now to go and get these things that would further neuter our firearms. So depending on your situation, this could be very tough for home defense. So that's how I see it. If you take issue with this bill, I certainly urge and recommend that you contact your representatives, tell them how you feel, tell them which way you want them to vote on this, so that way your voices are heard. But that is HR 130 in detail. Not sure which training program is right for you? Well, give us a call or email us, and we will actually schedule a consultation with you so we can really figure out which training program is best for you and make sure you get the right training that you need.